There was a time in the past in Kerala when politics destroyed peace at educational institutions in the state. Much blood was shed on campuses in Kerala in the name of politics. Many students were killed at campuses. That situation has thankfully changed at present. But that doesn't mean peace prevails in campuses across the state. The only difference is that violence is still there, murders are still there, but they are not basically in the name of politics. Instead of politics, the communal virus has infected students in campuses across the state. Now, this is true to educational institutions owned by private groups, private individuals, or even government institutions. The situation is not different. Now, the latest of such incidents was a demand of students at Nirmala College Muvattupuzha, a small town which lies at the eastern border of Ernakulam district. A group of students, to be precise, a group of Muslim students, went to the principal and demanded a separate prayer room for Muslims, especially Muslim girls. The principal didn't yield to the demand initially. Then the students laid a siege on the principal. The sad part of it was political parties, student wings of political party, mainstream political parties like SFI, which owes allegiance to CPIM, KSU, which owes allegiance to the Congress, all of them, MSF, which owes allegiance to Muslim League. Students belonging to all these parties were reportedly there, and the principal was forced to give them a reply that he would discuss it and get back to them. Now later on, sensing the mood of the public, and for the first time in Kerala, public have overwhelmingly opposed the demand of students. There is a general consensus across the state that if one community, one religion is allowed to open their prayer room in one particular college, then it can happen anywhere else. All religious groups will demand that. Educational institutions are for studying, not for prayers. You have got temples, mosques, churches, etc. for your spiritual or religious needs. So go there for that. Why trouble people in colleges? So what was the reason for this group to raise such a demand? Why was political parties silent initially? Now, was this an isolated incident, a one-off incident, or part of a series of incidents? Is there a conspiracy behind this act, or was it a spontaneous act? What does it signify? We need to get to the bottom of the whole issue. Welcome to Insights. This is Hari Kumar. Let's start with the incident. As I said earlier, a group of students going to principal, taking him by surprise, demanding a prayer room for Muslims. Now, what could be the significance of the whole incident? We have to walk down memory lane. It was near Nirmala College at Nirmala College Muvattupuzha that a few years ago, a professor named T.J. Joseph was subjected to a horrific torture by radical Islamists alleging blasphemy. Now, the group Popular Front of India was alleged to have held a Islamic court before implementing the heinous act. The Islamic court or Sharia court decided that the professor was responsible for blasphemy, and their cadres implemented the decision. What a shocking event was it. But then no political party in the state had the balls to oppose such a move, such a dastardly move. They all kept silence. Their silence was criminal. The same silence was there initially in Muvattupuzha College also. There also, the student wings of political parties didn't raise their voice against this injustice. In the past, in Newman College, Muvattupuzha, when somebody alleged Professor Joseph of blasphemy, no political party, no students wing raised their voice against it. Even the college management, the Catholic Church, said the fault was with Professor Joseph. What was his fault? His fault was he cited a few lines from a book written by another person named P.T. Kunju Muhammad, where there were remarks which could be interpreted as against Prophet Muhammad. Now, nobody criticized P.T. Kunju Muhammad for that. The book is still there. So why single out, why nitpick one particular person, Professor T.J. Joseph, for it? So from that, it can be understood that the intention was not even blasphemy, intention was really politics. So the Muvattupuzha belt is an area where Catholics or Christians have got an upper hand. And there another community wanted to prove that it's not your area, you don't have hegemony in this area. So that was a political act. That was a terrorist act. It was aimed to create terror in the minds of people. It was a power struggle. It was an assertion by one community. Radical Islamists wanted to prove that they are the masters in those areas. The Catholic Church was surprised. They were shocked. They were benumbed. They were petrified. They, instead of resisting the act at that time, they beat a hasty retreat. They criticized their own guy. The CPIM, to which Professor T.J. Joseph belonged, he was a member of the College Teachers Union affiliated to CPIM. They also didn't come to his help. Even the CPIM State Secretary, then Kodiyeri Balakrishnan, was informed of the whole incident by the professor, but even he didn't come forward to support Mr. Joseph, because everybody wanted vote bank. Everybody was afraid. So even now, when another similar act was repeated at another a nearby college, Nirmala College, why did political parties continue the criminal silence? They were afraid. But this time, the public opinion was overwhelmingly against it. Times have changed. A BJP candidate won in Kerala from Thrissur. Now this made the difference actually. Actually, it is the rise of BJP in Kerala has made certain groups vary. Certain Christians have found a new form. They realize that there is another group also here which will come to our help. So that is it. It's not a realization of a mistake. Don't think like that. If that were the situation, immediately the Mahals or Muslim organizations in surrounding Nirmala College would have come up dismissing or criticizing the act of students. Now everybody dismisses that an unwitting act from a group of students who were not aware of the seriousness of the situation. You are diluting the whole issue, but that's not the case. The act was probably a premeditated, well-planned act. It was to remind certain group, especially Catholic Church, why they repeat all these things in institutions owned by Catholic Church. Let them discuss. I am not a Catholic, I am a Hindu. So why should? But still, it can repeat to other colleges belonging to other communities. For example, it can repeat at NSS College. It can repeat at SN College owned by SNDP Yogam. So the public has got a right to comment on this issue. That's why I am commenting. Now, this was a reminder of some extremist groups that perhaps PFI, I don't have any evidence to blame on PFI, but perhaps that was a reminder from extremist groups that a ban has not obliterated us from Kerala society. We are still around. Don't think that you have removed our fangs, don't think like that. It was a sharp reminder to many to security agencies, to the police, to the administration, to other groups. Anyway, this time it ended peacefully. You look at the rise of fanaticism or radical Islam in campuses. It all started, according to media reports, with during the time of Abdul Nasser Madani, a radical Islamic preacher who has been arrested and jailed, and he is languishing in jail at present. Now, at that period, a group of students, that was boys, started coming to school wearing skull cap and religious dress. Then, time and again, such moves were reported from other campuses in Kerala. For example, in 2023, at Thiruvananthapuram Medical College, a group of girl students who were doing MBBS, they gave a request to the principal or the dean of the college to allow them wear hijab in operation theatres. A demand which has been unheard of anywhere in the world. I mean, operation theatres have got certain dress code. This is a place where you are supposed to maintain it sterile, otherwise infections would happen. There is a very strict dress code in operation theatres. You cannot enter them there wearing your religious symbols or dress. So, such a move was opposed by everyone, including medical fraternity, and they retracted. But why these people are trying to raise this demand periodically? There could be a reason for that. They were reminding certain people. They are trying to gain hegemony on the society. Education institutions are a place where you are, any incident, are a place where any incident that happens will be reported widely and discussed widely. So they want this such, they make such moves in educational institution because they want those moves to be discussed by the society widely. So this could be the reason. Now, radical Islamist groups everywhere in the world have a history of using children as on the front line, because that gives them certain advantages. When they fight with others, first they disarm their opponents, then they attack them. This is their strategy. That is how they win. When Hamas fights with Israel, they will send women and children in the forefront. They know that an army, established army of another country, might not attack children or women. Now from behind, they will attack the opponents. So this gives them certain advantages. So they are using it in Kerala also. Now, if radical Islamism rises in campuses, you cannot, police or other agencies will not be able to take strict action against them. So that is why they use students, which is a dastardly act, which is a deplorable act, which is an outrageous act. But what is frightening is the silence of mainstream media and political parties in Kerala. Initially, the mainstream media didn't report this. Only when social media and others started commenting on it, the mainstream media reported, and that too in bits and pieces. They fail to give it the importance that it deserves. Now you see, you know what is happening. They can say by pursuing this in educational institutions, they send a message to the whole society. That is a message of threat, a message of terror, without planning, because many such incidents are happening in Punyar, Pala, Muvattupuzha, Thodupuzha, all these areas in the past. But you won't try to find a pattern in it. There is a method in this madness, as Horatio said to Hamlet in the well-known drama Hamlet of Shakespeare. So that method was evident in the latest event also. But the positive development was the society united as a whole. It's not just Hindus or Muslims, or Christians. Even positively, educated and those well-intentioned groups among Muslims also opposed. Everybody knows the danger of allowing such a demand, because any religious group could demand such a prayer room in the coming days. Now, let's conclude with a last final question. Will the MES or any Muslim group will entertain a demand from Hindus or Christians to open their own prayer rooms in MES or Muslim colleges? Then, if they allow, then these students also have the right to make such demands in educational institutions owned by other groups. Radical Islamists are targeting educational institutions of Christians because Christian churches own a large network of educational institutions across Kerala, and they are said to be the most powerful group in education sector. So if you succeed in threatening them, you can threaten anybody else. A couple of years ago, Kerala government made a move to introduce gender neutral uniform in schools. Again, that was also opposed and defeated mainly by Orthodox Muslim groups. So, in the coming days, the campuses in Kerala will witness many such moves to communalize the situation, to vitiate the situation. We need to stand together. The thinking, the civilized, the educated, the tolerant sections in Kerala need to unite to defeat such moves by any religious group, not just radical Islamists. Thank you and see you with another topic next time. Till then, goodbye.